Yeah, that's like a like classic horror like story. It
Hell
was
yeah.
cool.
Lit Challenger says, "How did you get the Lil Peep collab done?"
So that's actually I don't like to bring this up too much because a lot of people like I feel like I don't know, people are very weird in like the music industry, but
Yeah.
Lil Peep was actually one of like the first people when I first joined SoundCloud to ever like hit me up and like support my music. I don't I'm pretty sure he didn't have any songs out yet or he only had a few, but I still have like all the messages on SoundCloud and he was like the first person ever. I used to drop like these huge albums, like 25 track albums. I
Yeah.
think there's a good like four albums before like my projects that are like my discography now that are just like so bad that they're like wiped from the internet. So I'm sure like some like super OG fans like still have it, but
Some
like
secret
don't look for
archive.
them. Like they actually suck. Like it's not worth it.
Don't
But
look for him.
yeah, like one of my first albums, or it was like the first one, like that was like it was like 25 songs, and he's like told me he's like one day he was like, "Yo, I've just like been smoking and listening to your whole album, and it's like one of the craziest things I ever heard." And he was like the first person to like say something like that to me, and I'm like damn, like this is so cool. And so we just started talking, and then he actually was in like he was in sort of like this like group. There's like a few groups that like I was sort of like in and out of. I think one of them was there's like Dream Mob. I can't even remember the name of the other one, but it was like Peep, Boy Fruit, like 90s Bambino. I'm trying to think like who else. It was a lot of people, but
Yeah.
that was like where a lot of like that sound started, and Peep was like the first person definitely to like really like push like that sound. Like it was very distinct.
Yeah.
And so I think it was like Boy Fruit and him, they did like a whole like album together. And
Yeah.
then there was a song I was gonna be on, and then the group sort of had this falling out, and so I didn't end up like dropping the song for like 2 years, and then at that point it was just like me and Pete. But I'm cool with like all of those people now. Like obviously like it's been years, but like all the people from like when I first started, because I was young, I was like 14, like I had no clue what I was doing. And so I just like I have so much respect from like all of the people from like the very beginning that like were just genuinely just trying to make like just music. I just wanted to make art and like share it with the world. And like
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like people were a lot more like not social per se, but like people were willing to give everyone a chance back then. I feel like you don't see that
Yeah.
anymore. And
Yeah.
so like he was like I don't know. It sounds weird to say, but I think like after Pete passed, like he was really like the last sort of just like real like musician from like that era. And I feel like after that, it all just became very like gentrified, and that's like sort of when like the music industry stepped in. I mean, you see like MGK
Yeah.
like clearly was like they're trying to like like invent that, and it's just like that is just so disrespectful. It's just like
Dude,
I don't
fuck
know. Back then, it was
MGK.
just like yeah,
You
yeah.
know, this is an anti-Apple and anti
Yeah, anti-Apple,
MGK.
anti-MGK stream. Yeah, I support that for sure.
Um so
God damn it. Yeah, you're
the
so right.
there's another question, but there was something that relates to what we were just talking about, so I'm gonna say that first.
Hmm.
You mentioned before the feature was originally going to be with Boy Fruit, right? Someone asked, and
Yeah.
then someone else asked if the collective is called Heartbreak Club.
Uh, no, I don't think I'm trying so hard to remember. I just remember it was like Dream Mob, and then there was this other group, and it was only like the only difference was like 3 or 4 members.
Yeah,
Also, shout out Bella Luxy. That was like they were the first person to really like sort of start that whole thing and push it. And they're still around and make amazing music. So definitely huge shout out to
Oh
them.
yeah.
yeah. And then Blood Red Crimson wants